You know, for over 3 decades, one of the most ambitious health studies in the world has been following thousands of people, trying to unlock the secrets of how we age. Today, we're going to dive into that project, the groundbreaking Rotterdam Study. It really all kicked off with this one simple but really powerful question. Yeah, we're living longer, but are we actually living healthier? Are those extra years good years, or are they just more years spent dealing with illness? That single question launched this massive scientific mission to find out. So, to really get a grip on just how huge this mission was, we've got to rewind a bit, back to the 1980s. See, there was this huge shift happening with the population that scientists just couldn't ignore anymore. Researchers back then started noticing this kind of weird problem. Sure, modern medicine was helping people live longer lives, but those extra years were often jam-packed with things like heart disease, dementia, and brittle bones. The real challenge wasn't just about adding more years to life, it was about adding more life to those years. To figure this out, they needed a special kind of tool. Not a microscope or anything like that, but a method. The prospective cohort study. Okay, think of it like this. Imagine you're planting a massive garden, but instead of just looking back at the end to see what happened, you follow every single seed for decades to see what helps them grow strong. You watch it all unfold in real time. And that's exactly what led to the birth of the Rotterdam Study. Basically, a health checkup on a scale that had never been seen before, all happening in one single community. The entire project was based in one neighborhood, Almort, in Rotterdam. Now, why there? Well, by focusing on one tight-knit community, the researchers basically created the perfect real-world laboratory. It was a place to watch how a whole group of people actually aged over decades. And the scale here is just wow. Across its different phases, get this, almost 15,000 people volunteered. I mean, that's not just some small sample group. That's like the entire population of a small town, agreeing to share their most personal health information for the good of science. And you've got to think about the commitment from these folks. It was just incredible. Each person started off with a 2-hour interview right in their home. Then they went to a research center for 5 hours of exams. And this wasn't a one-and-done thing either. Nope. They came back every 3 or 4 years, and their medical records were tracked the entire time. It created this unbelievably detailed picture of their health journeys. All right, so after 3 decades of dedication from both the scientists and all these amazing citizens, what did we actually learn? This is the good part. Let's get to the payoff. Okay, first off, brain health. This study gave us the clearest picture we've ever had of dementia's true impact. It showed how the risk just skyrockets as we get older. But it didn't just stop at telling us how bad the problem was. By analyzing DNA, it helped pinpoint dozens of new genes linked to Alzheimer's, which opens up all sorts of doors for new treatments. And maybe most importantly for all of us, it confirmed that our lifestyle choices are absolutely linked to our dementia risk. Then there's heart health, where the study uncovered some really fascinating differences between men and women. While both have a similar overall risk, it seems to hit them differently at first. For men, the first sign is often coronary heart disease. But for women, it's more likely to show up as a stroke or heart failure. And that's a huge deal, right? It tells us that our prevention strategies can't be this one-size-fits-all approach. And the discoveries kept coming. They didn't stop at the brain and heart. For example, the study gave us the slam-dunk proof that smoking is a major risk factor for a leading cause of blindness in older folks. It also became a global hub for osteoporosis research, helping to identify the specific genetic markers that put us at higher risk for broken bones. Now think about this. A study that started back when we all had landlines could have easily become, totally outdated. But the Rotterdam study was actually built to evolve from day one. It managed to stay on the cutting edge for 3 whole decades. And this quote right here, this is where you see the real genius behind the whole thing. From the very beginning, they weren't just trying to answer the questions of 1990. They were collecting biological samples, blood, DNA, you name it, and creating this massive library so they could answer questions they hadn't even thought of yet, using tools and tech that hadn't even been invented. Talk about forward thinking. And boy, did that foresight pay off. The study just grew right alongside technology. It started with X-rays in the 90s. Then in the 2000s, it moved on to these huge genome-wide studies. That's where you can scan thousands of genes at once. Fast forward to today, and they're doing things like next-generation sequencing to read entire genetic codes and even analyzing our microbiome. Yep, the trillions of bacteria inside us. So, what's the big takeaway from all this work? What's the legacy? Well, it's not just stuck in some dusty academic journals. It's out here, in the real world, shaping how we all think about the future of aging. And this is really where the rubber meets the road. The discoveries from this one little neighborhood in Rotterdam didn't just stay there. They've traveled all over the world, and they're directly influencing the medical guidelines that your doctor uses with patients every single day. Want to see a perfect example? Let's talk about statins. When the US came up with new, more aggressive guidelines for who should take them, the researchers used the Rotterdam data to model what would actually happen. So, what was the result? Well, just look at the chart. The change would mean that almost all elderly men and 2/3 of women would suddenly be told to take them. The study didn't say if that was right or wrong, but it gave everyone the real-world data needed to have a smart debate about it. So in the end, the study has become this incredible living library of human health. It's this amazing resource where scientists today can grab data from, say, 1995 and analyze it with the supercomputers of today, constantly finding new secrets hidden inside. And you know what? The story's not even over. The original participants, and now even their kids, are still contributing. This remarkable community is still sharing its health secrets with the world. It really makes you wonder, right? As the city keeps teaching us, what's the next big thing we're going to learn about living not just longer, but truly living healthier?